Hope you're doing well and everything's been good. I just want to speak on something today that is about creating your dream life. I hate when people are like, well, I would know because I have $1 million business and I have this and that. It's like, cool. No, I have internal happiness. That's what I have. I have people around me that love me. I have great health. I have great fitness. Those are the things I have. And those are my dream life goals. And yeah, I have peace within my mind. So I wanted to talk about basically a little bit of manifestation, synchronicities, building and having your own dream life, and what that looks like for you. And yeah, so your dream life isn't something that you wait for or you stumble upon. I think people sit there and they go, yeah, I just really want this thing, and I hope one day, or I dream about this one day, but they never do the actions or the steps to it, which seems insane to me, that you only get one life and you don't even want to work towards the thing that you love or dream about. Because even if you did like 1% every day towards your dream life, I'm sure by the end of your lifetime, you'd probably be there very, very easily. Or if you had 1 year where you just completely, absolutely just locked in, every hour was spent building on to your dream life. It's something that you have to create through choices, self-trust, and consistent action. And I have been the person who has done this, and I've also been the person who has not done this. I have wasted years of my life sitting in mediocre, sitting in, oh, just take that job and that will be fine, and not thinking that I could have more. And then when I realized how powerful I am, and you are as well, trust me, you're just as powerful. We are all very powerful human beings. I just put a lot more self-trust into the things that I wanted. And I just was like, okay, well, if this is the dream, what are the actions and the habits and the things and the systems and the processes so I could get there? And it doesn't have to be overnight. And the thing that stresses people out is that you think you have to have it tomorrow. The thing is that delayed gratification is going to get you there. 1, being patient is going to get you there. 2, and consistent action will get you there. But you have to be absolutely okay with surrendering, 1, the dream, to a higher purpose, to the universe, and letting it do its magic. And stop trying to orchestrate every single move to get there. Just making sure that you're showing up every day to get there, because the universe works in funny ways. Imagine the universe is an all-seeing eye. It can see everything, every angle, every way to get you to the thing that you want, right? So if you surrender your dream to the universe, you say it out loud, you know that's the thing that you want, you're adamant about it, and you surrender the process to get there, you will find that the universe will do things like synchronicities. You'll just meet the right person at the right time. You'll have this conversation. Certain little things will happen for you. And when I decided, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start my YouTube. I'm going to start helping people. I want to coach people. I want all these things. Trust me, there's days where I'm like, oh, I could pack it in. And I'm like, I've only just started. That's so silly. I haven't even embraced the cringe yet to see what's happened on the other side. That was definitely me yesterday. Oh my God. I was like, I'm going to throw it all in. Doesn't matter. I can't do this. And then I was like, no, I need to see what's on the other side of all of this. Certain things were working in my favor. I was meeting the right types of people. I was in the right type of energy. I really wanted an office. If I show you my vision board, I don't have it on my thing. If I showed you my vision board from last year, mainly everything on my vision board came true. How? How is that? There were some things where I was like, I put on my vision board, and this is so small, you wouldn't even think this is. When you put stuff in your vision board, it doesn't have to be these extravagant things. Also, I want to talk about that in another YouTube, about your dreams don't have to be these huge dreams that you're going to be a billionaire and have a yacht and have an island and da-da-da. It doesn't have to always be that. It was very small. It's getting me to the steps of self-trust. And I watched this really great video of someone once, and he was like, you know what? When I first started my business, I didn't want to charge people $500 for one-on-one coaching. I was charging them $100. And the reason I was charging them $100 was because in that moment, that's what I felt comfortable with. And it gave me the confidence to show up on those calls, add value and give value. And then once I had that self-trust, I was like, okay, no, actually, I can now be charging $500 because I have done it enough times that I know my worth. And sometimes we need to do the reps to see our worth instead of jumping to this huge goal straight off the bat that completely scares us, and it has nothing to do with our current identity that we identify with now. And that's what it all is. It's all about changing your identity to match the energy and the person that you want to be. I want to be a content creator that helps people and coaches people. Well, I better fucking show the fuck up and be that person. So what would that person do? What's the identity of that person? So I started to break that down. Anyway, and one of my things on my vision boards, which I was saying before, she loves going on a tangent, was an office. And I didn't even realize for so long. I was kind of like, what do I mean by having my own office, or like a nice office or whatever? And I always thought it was going to be in my house because I work from home. And then I saw this beautiful co-working space. And, you know, I went and viewed it. Literally that day I hired it or whatever. And then I went back to my vision board, and I didn't even realize it was on my computer screen. And I was like, oh, it's the office that I said. I was like, I didn't realize, because I just surrendered that goal or that vision to the universe, and somehow it slowly, when the time was right, when it needed to, it came to me. And all those other things that were on my vision board, when the time was right, it slowly came to me. I put my dream car up there. I got it. I went to Europe. I did all of these things. I can't even remember what else was on my vision board. And I was slowly just surrendering to those dreams. And you can think, you can plan, you can do all of those things, and you think that's action. But the real action is when it's like you're just showing up every day. It's messy. You don't know what you're doing, and you're just doing it to see if something will work. And something does. It starts to stick after a while. It's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be boring consistency and choosing yourself when it feels scary. And that's literally how I feel at the moment. I feel really scared. I'm at the start of my journey of being of doing the thing that I want, and it feels really scary. I haven't got it all figured out, and I hate uncertainty, and I need to get so radically comfortable with uncertainty, because that's the only way I'm going to grow. But from my own personal reflection is that when you start deciding to take yourself seriously, like your dreams and like what you want really seriously, like actually, instead of just saying, yeah, I would love that one day, would you actually love it? Because if you would actually love it, start working towards it. You'll be surprised, you might have it in 10 years. Time's going to pass either way. You can go to your 9 to 5 and do 10 years there and still pretend that you still want that dream. Or you can start changing your environment, doing things before you even feel ready, because you're never ready is like not a feeling. It's not something you ever feel. It just doesn't happen. I always thought that for years. I was like, I'll just have to wait till I feel ready and I'm old enough and I can do this and da-da-da. I'm like, no, I wanted to do this kind of like online coaching for so long and helping people. And, a lot of my friends said, you should do personal development and that kind of thing. I was like, I would love to do it. I just feel like I'm not old enough. to give my 2 cents to people. Why? Why would I put myself in a box? Maybe I actually am. I do have a lot of knowledge and things that I've been through that could help somebody. And it doesn't mean that I have to help everybody. But your dream life also doesn't need permission. It doesn't need to look like anybody else's. Just because everybody wants $1 million business doesn't mean that you have to have $1 million business. You might want like 1 acre of land and you want to be cut off from society. Like, I don't know what your dream would be. There might be something within you that's like, yeah, I've always wanted that. What are you doing to work towards it? What are the little actions that you're doing? Because you will be really surprised after a year, after 2 years, that if you did a little bit of action every day towards your dream life, that it will compound and you will be looking back and you'll be like, whoa, okay, maybe I'm actually here. I'm further than I thought I was. Because it happened to me very, very fast. I locked in for like a year and was like, I want to be a content creator. I want to travel the world. Did all that and then it was done. And I was like, oh, I did it. Now I need a new dream. It happened. And could I do it again? No, I probably wouldn't want to be traveling and doing content and that kind of thing. It's just too taxing. The girl loves routine. I love routine too much. And I want to be training all the time. So I couldn't do that forever. But I was glad it happened. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that was not the thing that I wanted anymore. Now I want a new dream. And also, nobody's going to hand it to you. And that's actually the best part, because it means that you're in control. You've got the driver's seat. Nobody's going to give it to you. You're going to have to go find it yourself. And you're allowed to want more, you're allowed to change, and you're allowed to build a life that feels like yours. It can feel like yours. I feel like everybody should, as human beings, it is our birthright to have everything we want. Because there is an abundance of everything out there. We live in an abundant world. We live in an abundant world. There is so much opportunity for everybody. We are so lucky. Especially with traveling, what it's made me realize is that you walk down these third world countries. I'd be in Asia and I would be like, there's so much food. I would be walking down the street being like, there's so much food. There's obviously money coming from somewhere. And I was like, it's so weird that the program has programmed us to think that in such scarcity. And I just don't believe in all of these things that they try and push on us. I truly do not. I think there's always an agenda to it. It's to keep us in low vibration, to keep us in the working class. It's to keep us worried. It's to keep us not thinking about our dreams. Because if you're in like a scarcity mindset, you're just trying to survive. Your natural human brain will want to survive. That's all you want to do. But we don't need to be in fight or flight. We have an abundance of food. We can go down the supermarket and buy whatever we want whenever we want. We can buy clothes. There's an abundance of clothes. I noticed that when I also went traveling, is that they have these like secondhand markets. They're like thousands of stores of them in Japan with so much secondhand stuff. My closet has so much clothes. And yesterday I was like just about to go buy more clothes. And I was like, no, I literally wear the same 3 outfits. I do not need any more clothes in my closet. Like being so intentional with what I buy and consuming, because there's so much of everything. The amount of clothes that I have like dropped off to like the secondhand stores over the years, like bags and bags and bags of clothes, I feel so guilty. Because I was like, it was just that consuming mindset of like, oh, we always just need more. But it's like, oh, we're going to run out. But we're not. And it makes you really reflect and realize that there's so much of everything and you don't need all the things. Trust me. And obviously people talk about manifestation like it's like this magical thing. But for me, there's just like certain things that have been lining up. Okay, let me tell you what happened. I was talking to my angels. I think I have angels. You might not, but I do. And I have angels and I know who they are. They're all people that have like animals that have died, and then people who have died, and they look over me. And so one of my angels is my granddad, and he must have died when I was like, God, I would have been like maybe 8. And I remember always being at his house when I was like younger. He was just the cutest old man. Oh my God. And he's one of my angels. And then I had a childhood dog that was very, very intelligent. She was a Rottweiler / Labrador. So she was very, very intelligent. She just knew what was going on. She knew every emotion. She was very in tune. And she probably died when I was like 14 or so. And maybe even younger, maybe 12. And she's one of my angels. And then my grandma, who probably died about a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years now. Oh my God, it's probably coming up 2 years soon. R.I.P. What a woman. Just like literally was my mum. She's one of my angels as well. And I think my other grandma as well, she can be one of my angels. And then recently another one of my childhood dogs died, and she'll be one of my angels as well. So I know that they're all looking out for me and looking after me. And I've definitely prayed to them in the past and asked them for certain things. And manifested certain things. And then one of the things that I asked was like, the guy that I was currently seeing, I was like, if he's a good person for me, like show me some feathers. And then all of these weird scenarios happened where I was getting out to go to the gym, and usually I don't walk around my car and then open the back door to get my gym bag. I would just like lean over and grab my gym bag and then get out of the car. For some reason I just felt the need to go around. I opened the car door, I looked down, and there's this huge feather underneath my car. It was windy, it was a windy day, going across the car park, and I grabbed it and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then there was another feather that turned up on a walk with a dog like maybe a week later. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to test you again. Show me another feather. And then I was sitting there at the pool talking to my friend, and I was just like this, had my hands down, and this little tiny white feather that was fluffy fell into my hands. And then I looked up, those like apparently white feathers is when your angels are really talking to you. And I was like, what? And I said to him, I was like, look at this fluffy feather, it's so cute. I didn't think much of it. And then I was like, oh, another feather. Guys, I do not have that many encounters with feathers in such a short span. Okay, I promise you, it was crazy. So test little things like that with the universe. But once you commit to a dream, I know that the universe usually, because you will radiate a certain energy, it's like the universe just knows, and you radiate this certain frequency and energy, and it just has to collapse time and space to be on that same timeline. You truly can create the life that you want and the dream life that you want, as long as you are so adamant that that's the thing that you want. And things that have been like changing for me is like, I've been committed to my dream business. I'm, signed up for a triathlon. I'm starting to public speak. I started my like co-working space, and I've been meeting these really stunning, beautiful, deep people that have had these amazing conversations, and I feel really, really whole, and I feel really like the universe is giving me all of these beautiful things so that I can turn up and become the person I am right now to help people. It really is giving me this. And once I was committed to that, like I said, all these synchronicities were happening. Ideas were just landing better. Like I would have drop-ins that I was like, okay, that makes so much sense. There's like certain opportunities that have been lining up that I can apply for. And I do feel way more guided than ever, than stuck. And it's not because the universe magically did the work. It's because I just showed up and was serious about it and actually tuned into that, and it just gave me it back. Really, truly. And I just don't think manifestation is about attracting what you want. I think it's about becoming the person who can hold the dream. But this is what I mean about like, you need to become the identity of the person that you would love to be. Like, you need to embody what it would be like to be that person. What would that person do when they show up? How do they feel within their heart, within their soul? How do they move? Do they move with intention? Think about that version of yourself and try and pretend to be that person. Fake it till you make it. Fake it so hard that it becomes your personality. There's sometimes when you hang out with people and you get certain mannerisms from them. That's you kind of faking it because you've copied them. Copy that version of yourself that you want to be. And just pretend to be them. And then for some reason you'll wake up one day and you're like, I'm that person. I am them. And if nothing feels like it's working right now, it might not be because you're doing anything wrong. You might be having things that are absolutely being stripped away from you. Things that are just like, what the I thought that was the path. And really, there will be times in my life when it's I was so adamant that was the thing. And then the universe takes it away from me. And I'm like, oh. And then I look back a year later and I was like, oh, thank God it didn't put me in that position where I'm that person or did that thing. So sometimes you've got to also be thankful. And also when something crazy that is happening in your life that's been stripped away from you, you've really got to think, why? There's obviously a reason, and there's obviously something better on the other side. Why? And if you can sit with that for a little bit and really reflect on why and what you think on the other side, like I said, surrender to the universe, let it do its thing, and then say to the universe, how good could it get? Literally, wake up and say to the universe, show me how good it can get. I started doing that about 3 months ago. I said, all right, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of being a sad girl. I'm sick of moping, crying, trying to figure out what I do next, trying to plan. Things weren't completely working out for me. I was depressed. I was sitting in this bed scrolling for, I think, a month, guys. I did nothing. I probably just went to the gym. I wasn't doing my UGC collabs. I was being so incredibly lazy. I was very lucky to be in a good position where I, for money, that I didn't have to worry, but I was being so incredibly lazy. And then I just woke up one day and I was like, all right, show me how good it can get. Show me how good it can get. I go to bed every night. Most nights I try to do this where I'm like, oh my God, something wonderful is going to happen to me today. I thank you to the universe for all of the good things, all the nice people that I've met. I'm so lucky. I'm so fortunate because I think we actually it's like we repel everything from ourselves, from the universe, because we're like, oh, I want more of this. I want more of that. I want. The universe won't give you what you want. The universe gives you who you are. So if you're not embodying the identity of the person that you want to be, well, unfortunately, you'll just continue in the same cycle. You will just continue as is. And that's it. And that's how it's going to be. So all I can say is you can control create your own life. You can create your own dream life, your own thing. And I hope it gives you the motivation or some kind of insight to think about the things that you want to dream about. And then, what little actions do you need to take? Also, what person do you need to embody to be that? And I'm really excited for this journey. I can't wait for you to be here with me the whole freaking time. And we do this together. I can't wait to hear your stories. I can't wait to hear the things that you got to do. And and also look after yourself. Don't be also so hard on yourself, Anyway, love and light. I'll see you soon. You know where I'll be. Here tomorrow, another video dropping. And see you soon.